Let's see. Are we live yet? Are we live yet? Are we live yet? Yep, we're live. I can see my mug. I can see it. I can see my mug. Let's share the mug. Come on, let's share this beautiful mug. Here we go with the Spectranet case. Live exclamation mark. Live case design. Just in case. Right. I hope it's not too big of a mess in here. Hey, people are in. Steve, Jean-Claude, good afternoon, good evening, almost for you, I think. A couple of minutes. Let me just push F5 here so I can see the stream as well. Yep, there it is. Hey, Stuart, good evening. Yeah, this is my one of my new shirts. Thank you, Steve. Got it in last week, and I hope the quality is good enough that I can watch it many times, but we'll see. Let me put down the camera just a bit so everyone can enjoy the shirt without enjoying my belly. It's my belly, you know. I don't have to share it with others. Anyway, I've got some other shirts today as well, Steve. The question is, should I unpack that now or should I wait with that? Yes, these are the shirts. Wenderson, good afternoon, good evening, Tony, good evening, welcome. I hope you enjoy the mic. In the meantime, I'm trying to set up everything I need here, and my throat is quite dry. The mic isn't empty, by the way. There's coffee inside. That's for a couple of seconds, minutes or something. Just trying to see if I'm not forgetting anything. Oh man, all the Facebook messages, they just go on and they'll go on. But it's my own fault, of course. Alright, I think we can... Yeah. Oh, the shirts. You know you want to... Yeah, I know, but the problem is I already am wearing one of the new shirts. More people trying to contact me. But I have to wait. But I will just show them because I'm not doing a live Bite Light show. So this is one of the new shirts. No, I'm just joking. This is just one of the stickers that came with it from Redbubble. And I like this one. It's not yours, Steve, but I like it a lot, so I thought I'd just to order it. It's big. Look at this one. Look at the Spectrum Plus. Isn't it cool? And I think it's a Sony monitor, if I see it correctly, but I'm not sure. And a ZX printer. None of those work anymore. But anyway, it's a cotton shirt, and I only like cotton shirts because they don't smell when you wear them. All the polyester plastic shirts, they do. And of course, the one and only, I liked this one as well. Zilog. Look at this one. Of course I have to iron it a bit before wearing it, but anyway. I don't know, a cup monitor, of course, it could be as well. I know Mrs. I forgot her name. Oh, sorry, Mrs. Let me check her name. Mrs. Matt Lemon, of course. She did some videos about those monitors last week, actually, and the last she had was a Sony, I think. Yeah, the last one was a Sony. So I'm not sure. Maybe it's a cup, maybe it's a Sony. I don't know. Cool. Draken, good evening. Am I forgetting anyone? Many people are still continuing to post messages. I hope you cannot hear it, but the microphone is quite near one of the speakers, so the volume is down. But anyway, whoa, That's your shirt. Yep. Hey, Federico. Good evening. It's evening in Spain, of course. Welcome. Um, yeah. Well, I hope I can achieve designing the new case to about, um, well, let's say near finished in about 1.5 hours or something like that. That's usually the time it takes. Goedenavond, Thomas. So let's get started. Oh, I have to clicking on wrong buttons here. It's like with my wife. Right, let's get to the main screen. Now you can see me in full glory. Camera's not working with me, but anyway. I don't need that anymore. Of course I need a Spectranet interface for that. And this is the one I did some modifications half an hour ago. So it will be more easy to design a case with this current design. So this is not my design, it's a design from Dylan Smith. It worked without any problems, so this is the first one I sold it. And I can share it with you. I actually prepared a couple more here, so I put all the SMD chips on it, except for the RAM chip and one of the gates, logic gates. So I got a couple of more prepared, and let me check how many boards I have in stock, because those take the longest time. I think I've got about 40 boards. So in total I should be able to make about 50 Spectranets with the parts I have in stock, except for some other parts which I just have to order at final. Most of these I can obtain in short notice. The only thing that may take some more time is... Come on, camera. Oh, I hate that camera sometimes. It's just so dumb. Show me. Stop autofocusing. This is very good. So I got most parts except the WizNet Ethernet chip, the 8-bit Ethernet chip, and I think I have 20 of these, so 20 of the ROM chips and 10 of the RAM chips. Enough sockets, I think I can get them easily. So I think I have to order the WizNet chips very soon, and the ROM and RAM chips as well, because I don't know what the delivery time for those are. But anyway, I have to wait for the cases as well for a couple of weeks. Although I will be offering the Spectranet without case as well, because it's a lot cheaper. I think the price difference will be about €25, so £20, something like that. Let's move the camera around so you can see exactly what I'm doing here. I'm also going to share what I'm doing on screen, so I actually got some stuff on screen here. So what you can see here is my Tinkercad account with all the designs I made in the past. So ZX HD design has been changed a bit last week. I've made a mold here for the rubber feet for the Spectrum Plus and toast rack. I think I have to change it a bit because the actual printed feet by someone weren't exactly the same as the original feet. So some plastic springs. The thing is that these are not cheap to have printed by laser sintering. It's too expensive, I think. Maybe people want to pay for it, but I will try printing some of these by my own upcoming printer, but then I need to add some support stuff. But anyway, all in time. Some other stuff I'm thinking about, like these things, for example. I wish I would I had the space and to make a round piece like this, maybe a bit more round, so you only need space to get in, you know, and then you can put a chair in the middle and all your working space is around you. That would be awesome. This is the Pro 2 HD. That's what the project name I was giving it. It's an interface looking like a Disciple interface from the past, the floppy disk interface, but then with all the modern stuff like HDMI and SD cards and that sort of thing. What else do I have in here? Oh, lots of other stuff. This is one of the cool things I like, because this was the design I made for Bytelab headquarters over a year ago. And as you can see, let me check. As you can see here, it's I'm not joking. This is almost still exactly as I planned it. So all the stuff here, like these storage thingies and the closet over there, are actually still exactly as I wanted, and all the crates here underneath. There are a couple of things I haven't done, like putting on the display here, monitor TV something, and I only have 3 LCD TVs here instead of 4. And I will still want to add some LEDs here underneath the setup desk I made, so you can see cool colors there. That I still would like to do. Anyway, I know, of course, we have a Byte Light logo, but that's actually that's arranged now because I received the plates that I wanted to use for those. So I'm totally digressing here, but it's just so cool to see this again. Let me first do a quick change on my... I need more displays here. Wow. Just a second. This my 1bis is burn. Put it in. You test 1bis? No, I haven't tested 1bis. I know the interface, but I haven't used it. I don't own one, so I don't have one. I know the 1bis has something like a Wi-Fi add-on or something like that. But I have no idea what support software or something is for that. But I think the Spectranet is the one that is developed the most, the best. It's awesome what Dylan did himself. I'm not sure who helped him back then. So it's developed, I think, almost 10 years ago, something like that. And he not only developed the interface and the ROM contents, which is awesome. All the basic extensions are just awesome if you see what he did. But he also developed the server-side software which you can use to have people connect to your machine from by internet and see web pages and load games and that sort of thing. And that's totally awesome what he did there. So I wonder if he used a team for that or did it all by himself. If he did, he's just a genius. That's the only word I can think of it. Anyway, sorry. Yeah, let me just move some stuff here so I can get Tinkercad in full screen. I can still watch the chat and all the good stuff. Right. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is just starting from scratch. Screen capture left. Let me click on screen capture left. Yep. I'm going to create a new design. Sorry, it's Dutch. I'm Dutch, you know. Of course, I can put it in English. It won't be any problem. So if you haven't seen Tinkercad before, it's an Autodesk product. It's you can compare it to a Fusion 360 or something like that. It's a 3D design tool. I think it's great. It works in a browser, so you can use it anywhere. Even on your smartphone. I've loaded these designs on my smartphone and can do anything I want with it. But of course, you don't have a mouse and a keyboard, which is quite handy. As always, I start with a box with rounded edges. So I just click on a box and then I'm going to measure the dimensions of the board. Of course, you have to keep some distance between the case and the board itself. I have also already have some ideas in mind, and the board is exactly 10 centimeters. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a piece of paper because I want to make some notes. And I'll show you exactly what I'm doing. So what I can do here is, where's my mouse? So you can see exactly what I'm doing here. So let me write it down. So if I look from above, you have the board here. It's hard to see because of the light. Can I change the light maybe? Can I change the lighting a bit? Let me see. Oh, that's not a good one. Sorry. Scheiße. I need the other one. Yep, advanced. Come on, man. Contrast maybe. That's better. It's not no. Oh, this sucks. Which button should I push? think it's a bit better when I move this one, but it's not totally what I wanted. Anyway, oh, sorry. I'm making a mess of it here. Just wanted to move this a bit. You can see it good enough, but when I move my hand there, the colors change. Put on automatic sharpen. No, well, whatever. Let's do this. So this is the case. Sorry, the board. Here's the Ethernet connector. Here's the edge connector, and here's the throughput connector. And what I want to do is the case will be a bit wider. The case itself will be 2 millimeters at least, and I need a space of about 1 millimeter, and the same here. So 2 and 1, and since this is 10 and this is let's make it in millimeters, 100 millimeters, and so this is added is 3 in total, and there that side is 3, so it's 106 millimeters wide case. So let's start with that. 106. Then the next is the same, but for the depth of the interface, and that is 6 exactly. He used the quite exact dimensions, but it's not a problem. So we have 6. Let me switch camera. So we have 6 here, and of course the same distance here, so 3 and 3, 60 of course, so 66 in total. Right, and now the hard part comes, and that's the height. So when I watch from the side here, I can show you a bit. Let me just show that. This is better. Okay, so we have the board, we have the connector here, and we have some stuff on the bottom, and I have some drawings, so I should check them. Should I check them right now? I have some drawings which I made in the past with the case design. So I have to look them up. Let me look them up, because the height of the center of the board inside the ZX Spectrum is of course the same height as the interface will be from the desk where you put it on, if you know what I mean. So I have written those dimensions in a document for one of the first cases I designed, which was the DivMC Enjoy. So if I can grab the document here, archive, details, case assembly, archive, case photos, case design. I think this is a document. Yep, I can share this, it's no problem at all. So this is a document I made a couple of years ago, because I had the case designed actually by Emre Yakli from Hungary, because I hadn't used any 3D software back then. And you can see that I did the same, so I measured the dimensions of the board and all the holes and stuff, and I did the same with the height, and that's the most important thing I'm looking for right now. Let me see. Look at this. So you got some dimensions. Did I put it ZX Spectrum? Yeah, look. This is a document I was looking for. So what you can see here is the board of the ZX Spectrum is 8 millimeter. The center of the board is 8 millimeter from the desk, and it's the same with the plus 2A and the plus 3. So these are all the important models, and of course you have the plus model, but it's the same. It should be the same. That's what Rick Dickinson did quite well, I think. He kept the distance from the board at the same height from the table with all the models. So that's what I need to know. So now we also know that the board thickness is 1.6 millimeters, so we know that the center of the board will be no, I'm mistaken. We can calculate what the space between the desk and the board should be at the bottom of the board, for example. So that's what we need to know. So let me get back to my document I was drawing here. Let me check the chat in the meantime. Vincent, good evening. Antonio, good evening. More messages on Facebook. Okay, okay. Let me get back here. I have the document opened on the other screen. So we're looking at the side of the interface, from the side of the interface, and that should be 8 millimeters from the center of the board. But from the bottom it actually is, because this is 0.8 and this is 0.8, so this is 7.2. So to the bottom of the board. Now what we want is, we want a case around this, but not completely to the desk itself, but we want to add some plastic feet, which are attached to the case, of course, by printing them exactly the way we want. So this is the board. Let me make it clear. I can even use some color if I want to. So these are the feet, and the feet are what I used last time. I'm not sure. I think 2 millimeters. So let me make this 2. Then we have the thickness of the case, which is also 2. So from the bottom of the board to the top of the inside of the bottom of the case should be 3.2 millimeters, because this is 4 millimeters. Alright, so that's what we're going to use. Let me get back to 3D designing. We still don't know the height, of course. Height is important as well, but because we know this, we can also calculate the complete height of the board. What I was thinking of is making sure that the metal part of the Ethernet socket can be seen from the outside of the case, so the top of this. And I have 2 reasons for that. One reason is that I don't want the case to be too high. So if we would do this, I would have the case exactly align with the socket, if you know what I mean. So like this, so that would be the case. Another reason is I think it's actually quite cool to see the top of the connector here. So I don't see any reason not doing that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to measure the exact height of the socket. I can of course use the data sheets for that. This is 14 millimeters. So we know that as well, and now we also know that this is 0.8. We have to add at least 14 for this Ethernet socket, which is the highest part here, and then we have no, that's all. This is just the top of the case. That's what I wanted. So we can now calculate what the total height of the case should be, and that is 14 for the connector, 0.8 for the half of the printed circuit board, and 8 minus 2 to get to the bottom of the case, and then we just have to add the feet. So in total it's 14 plus 0.8 plus 6. That should be the exact height of the Spectranet case. It's higher than my other designs, but it's not a problem. It's just a bit higher, not too much. And what I also will do in the meantime, before doing anything else, let me get back to my screen capture left. I'm going to design the board itself. So I know the board is 60 by 100, and I know the thickness is exactly 1.6 millimeters. So here we have the circuit board. Let's make it black, because my board is black. Of course we have the edge connector, we'll add it later on, but for now this is enough. The only thing that we want to know is exactly how high the board should be from the bottom of the of the desk or my work plane, as you can see here, and that will be 7.2 millimeters. So I have to heighten it for 7.2 millimeters, which is quite hard because for once it's put on the snap is on 1 millimeter here, so I should lower it in a second. So let's start with 7 then, and then we just need to add 0.2. So now we have the board exactly at the height that it will be in the future when we have the case ready and it's put in the case. So that's that. I'm going to add other parts and virtual other parts, of course, other virtual parts, when we're done with that. But for now, we can see if it will fit, and maybe the easiest is just make this a hole so you can see the board inside. So as you can see here, this will be the rough case of the Spectranet, just because we can. But as I said, come on, man, the case itself is not. One of the height is not set yet, and it needs to be lifted for 2 millimeters because we want to add feet to the bottom of the case. Exactly at the screw holes, but we'll find the correct position for the screw holes later on. So first, what did it say? I said 14 plus 6 is 20, 20.8. 20.8. It's almost 20.8, and we can exactly enter 20.8 millimeters. And now we have to lift it for 2. So now it's the distance between the work plane and the case is exactly 2 millimeters for the feet. So this is the correct height. This should be the correct height. Next thing we're going to do is enter a radius. So the rounding of the case. I always like the edges of the case to be a bit rounded, but I forgot the exact radius that I need for this design. So what I have to do is I have to just get one of the older designs and check the radius if I can find it, by the way. Maybe I will do it by just looking at it, because for example we have the ZX HD case here, and you can see you can kind of see the round edges of that. So I think we're just going to try it out here. Oh, that's way too much. 0.2 maybe. They are rounded, but it's hard. Oh, of course, it's because it's not a box. Oh, no, wrong button. So they are a bit rounded now, but why does it seem to be only rounded at the outside? That's not what I wanted. I thought it was going to round it on every side, also on top. Or is it? Or maybe it is. It's hard to see. Maybe another color. It's a bit. No, I'm not sure. Let's change a bit more. Let's put one in and see what happens. It's going. It changes all the radius. Oh, of course. Oh, okay. I made a mistake. I will change it back in a second. What I did is I stretched the case by entering dimensions here, and I shouldn't have done it. I should have entered the dimensions here. I will show you what the difference is. So we'll put this aside for a second. We put it correct in here. 106 and 66. So we have to enter that here. 106. Yep, and 66. Right, and the height was 20.8. Yep. Alright, and if we enter a radius now, it will be perfect. So now you can see that all the edges are equal. Awesomely round, if you ask me. I just have to check if that's good enough. And I still have to lift it for 2 millimeters. So, oh, that's strange. I thought I put it on 1. So I'll just lift it for 2 millimeters here. As you can see. Hey, Junior. Good evening here. It's good evening. I'm not sure what time it is in Brazil, but you're welcome. So you can see what the error I made. I should have just entered the values in the shape setup, and not when you enter it here, you're just stretching it. So let's get rid of that and let's continue. I'm not sure if this is round enough or maybe too round, but I think I like it. It's good enough for me. And let me just say for now that there's going to be a lot of details in this design. So it looks very boring right now, but it will be totally different. Okay, Steve, see you later. No problem. It will be totally different when it's ready, because I will add a rainbow logo here in the corner. There will be some holes for the LED, sorry, for the tactile button. I will add some indented text, and for that I think we have to create some extra files, because I want to use the font that I use in my electronics software. So we'll do that later on. Not now. First I want to just have the case itself ready, and we'll see about the details later. As I said, I really want to add some components to the circuit board, so we can see if it fits correctly. So for one, I know that this is 14 millimeters, the height, and I think the width is 16 or something. Let me check. Yep, 16. And the depth is a bit bigger. It's 21, I think. 21. Yeah, 21. 21 gigawatts. 21. This is 21, and this is 16. Yep, that looks better. And the only thing now is the distance from the side, or the back, I should say. And that is 17. 17, and for that we use a ruler. That's odd. Just a second. Right. Now we have a ruler, and we see that this is 17 millimeters from the side of the case. And what did it say? 17? No, it's exactly at the position it should be. Alright. I could change this to some light gray color because it's made of metal, but I'm not going to do that. I just want to join these two parts, because I can move it around the work area here. It should be aligned perfectly. Why isn't it aligned? What the hell? It's so strange. Very strange. Why isn't it aligned? Ungroup the stuff and align it. 0.1 millimeter off. I don't know why. Anyway, it's aligned now. Very strange, this. Okay. So this is, as far as I can see, it's perfect now. So we have two parts. We can join these two, and I will do the same for the switch and the LEDs and the holes later on. Not now. So we have the board with the Ethernet connector, and what I told you already is I wanted to have the two aligned on top. So in theory this should be exactly aligned as I told you. So all my measurements until now are correct, as I can see here. Is it? Is it slightly higher? I'm not sure. No, it should be the same, because otherwise this wouldn't happen, this clashing. So this is perfect. And now my question would be, will I just make an opening, so, or will I leave it's sticking out, that's what I thought, or will I leave this piece of plastic in there? I can do that because I think it's high enough. It's just 2 millimeters here. Let me check. Yeah, so I can just have this piece of plastic stay there, but maybe it's better to remove it. I'm not sure, but for now we'll leave it there. So the first parts of the design are already. So we have a rough block, if you can call it that. And the next thing, of course, is to make the block just a case and not a solid block. And so we're going to add a box that will be the size of the case with only 2mm walls instead of the cube it is right now. So this is 106, so this should be 102. Hope you can follow what I'm doing here. And this is 66 and it should be 62. And the height was 20.8 and minus 4 is 16.8. And if I'm going to lift this as well for 2mm, oh, that's not correct. I'm doing, sorry. Now 4, of course, because this should be exactly in the middle of the case. Now I'm going to move it exactly inside of the case, and this, of course, there will be one other issue here. We'll show that in a minute. So this is completely centered now. I can't tell if this is centered, but we'll see that in a minute. Now the problem is, if I would do this, we only will have a hole inside of the case, but what we actually wanted was a bottom plate, as I do with all my other interfaces. So at this moment we can even see the whole shape we added. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make this higher, and I will copy. Will I copy that one, or will just? Oh, we'll just make it higher for now. So let's make it higher by doing only selecting this one. No, I said only selecting that one. Thank you. And lower it a bit, and now let's get this back into position. I think this should lower it even more, of course. Is this aligned at the moment? Let me check. It should be. Yeah. So I need to move it for 2mm here. And if I'm going to make sure it's centered completely, not like it is now. What the hell did I do here? Wait. Okay, I was changing the dimensions of the wrong part. So this is 26. If I move it back, it's 24. Then I will center it again. I think it's centered. We'll check in a minute. Yeah. So if I combine these two parts now, you will see there will be an open space. Let me check. Let me just put a plane here, so you can see it's now not solid anymore. It's a top shell of a case with rounded edges, and that's important. So the next, we can put this one inside again, so you can see how it will look with the board in it. And we should have space of 1mm on all sides at the moment. It's hard to see, but you can see it if you look closer. You can see the gap there. And that's a cool thing about 3D stuff like this. It's it's free to use, so there's no reason why you should not use this. Thank you, Junior, for the comment. I cannot say I did it myself completely, because of course it's from someone that designed the 128 menu, but of course I added the lower line. All right. And I still hate sneezing and etc. during streams, but that's just nature, you know. All right. Let's see. Shall I make the hole for the? Yeah, I think I will. What I'm going to do is I'm going to add the hole for the Ethernet connector now. We can do this on top of the work plane we just added there. So it's I'm just doubting if I should make it exactly this dimensions of the connector, or just a bit wider, because I don't know exactly how much space I should add. I think 1 millimeter on all sides should be okay, but maybe it's too much. That's what I'm doubting. I'm going to have some test prints, of course, so it's not the biggest issue if it's not exact. But I think for now it would be good to have 0.5 millimeter on all sides. I hope it still looks nice if I do that. So we're going to make it 17 by 22. 17 by 22. 22, 17. And the height is not important because we're just going to make a hole on top of the case. And exactly the place where the board will be. And because we know the board is already centered inside the case, what we can do is just move the hole we are adding to the case on top of the Ethernet connector, as you can see here, and align it perfectly. Then yep, that's okay. And same here, because the snap is set on 1 millimeter, I should change it to 0.5 millimeter, then it's okay. So now it's exactly at the position we wanted to, except because it's a hole, it's not important exactly where it will be. It will just make a hole in the case. So I'm going to put these parts back into the case and align the board from the bottom, so it's the most easy way to see. Yep, we should still have space there, it's okay as well. And now we can join these two parts, and you can see, let me add the workplane to its original position. What you can see here is the top of the Ethernet connector. And maybe it's cool now to make it gray, because the Ethernet connector will be from metal color. So this is the idea I have. Let's continue and add the hole from the side where the connector goes in. I don't think we need too much extra space there. So we'll do the same now with the side. We'll just add something to the side there. Let's make the workplane on the side here. Yes, let's add a hole. The connector dimensions. The actual dimensions should be 11 is the original, so we'll make it 12. The hole size, of course, 12, and yeah, well, let's think. Okay, 12 and it's hard to see here. I don't want to make it too big. What should I do? 12 is enough, that won't be a problem. And the sides, I think 15. Yeah, 15, 12 by 15. And okay, let's make it 12 by 15. 12 in height, 15 in width. Oh, this one. 15. Let's make it a bit less thick. Alright, and now we're going to position it over here. And what I want it to be is exactly on the bottom of the board. And this is not good, because from the board on the bottom of the board it should be 12. It was 12, wasn't it? Yeah, then we have 2 millimeters on top. And we need some more space. I think we need 13 here. Right, so this hole should be big enough. This hole should make it possible to enter the connector. And I'm just doubting, is there any problem of making it a bit wider? I don't think so. So let's make it wider, just because you cannot always say exactly where the connector, where the board will be. And the reason that I'm saying that is, why is this higher than that? Oh, it's not aligned. The reason I'm saying that is because, of course, you also always have some tolerances in the screw holes and that sort of thing. So let's just make it exactly the dimensions of the socket itself, as you can see here. So that's what I did just now. So I made it 14 by 16. I don't think that's a problem. So you will see the complete socket from the side and not more than that. I think that should be enough. And We're going to put it back in here. Let's change the work plan again. In the same way we did before. I will put it on 1mm again. Let's move it in. Yeah, that's okay. So now we have the position of the hole, and if we combine these two, then you will see the side of the. Okay, this is quite a small problem. I will explain what I'm talking about. If I would do this, so if I would make the hole on the side as high as the connector itself, of course, then we would have a very small piece left of plastic from the case. So this is not the best option. So either I have to lower the hole a bit, and I think we can do that because we have 2mm. I can show you. We have 2mm of space here. So these 2mm, that's more than 2 by the way. So we can use that to just add some plastic, or we just have to remove the complete plastic part here. So you will just see the complete connector. And I think I will try first, because we can always remove it by hand by just cutting it away with a knife. But for the first print, I will just, where is it? What is happening here? Oh, or I pushed the wrong button, so I have to press this one. Yep. So we'll make this lower. That's the only thing I was trying to say. Okay, this is now 14. I will make it 12. Let's see how this looks. I think this looks a lot better. So from the side you will be able to reach the Ethernet connector, and from the bottom top you will see the top of the connector. I think this will look nice. That's what I think. I think it's cool. Right. So these are the first things I had in mind for the design. And the bottom plate is not the most difficult to design, so we'll do that later. So the next thing I would add is the position of the edge connector, and that's quite simple because it's 14mm by 7 high, and I've done it so many times before. So let's add the connector. What was the dimension of the width? 72. Yep, 72. 72. And by 14 here, and 7 high. Right, this is an edge connector, and we'll make it black. Alright, now let's put the edge connector exactly where it belongs. So let's move it there. And of course, because this board is, the PCB is 1.6mm high, we have to align it a bit more. I think I will first move it that way. It's not completely at the side, so I'm doubting a bit. Or is it? Oh wait, it is. It is exactly at the side of the board. I think Dylan did some cool stuff here with the design. So these two should align perfectly. Now they do. So remember this what I'm doing here is completely done in a browser, which I still think is very cool. And now we just have to lower it a bit. It's hard to tell if it's completely aligned in the middle. That's always hard to tell, but I have some tricks, of course, you can use. So let's lower it. It should be 14 minus 1.6 is 12.4. 12.4 divided by 2 is 6.2. So let's make this 6.2. Let's make it a lot smaller. What is going on here? This is 7. Oh, of course. What I'm doing. Oh, that's not 14. It's 7, of course. I'm mistaken, of course. So it's 7 minus 1.6. So 5.4. So 2.7. This should be 2.7. Right. Now we can check if both top and bottom are identical. So you can see there's 0.1 millimeter space, not enough space there, and let's move it to the side first. So I think the edge connector is not completely aligned, and for designs I think it should always be completely aligned. You can see there's some space left here. So what we have to do is we have to lower it by 1.1 millimeter, and then it should be perfect. So this is perfect, and if I put it to the bottom, it's also perfect. So now we know it's aligned in the center. So this can be gone for now. Okay, so this is the exact position of the edge connector, and I could keep it black, but I want to join these parts as well, so just group it as one part. So we have the board with the Ethernet connector and the edge connector. And why are we doing this? Because we need a hole in the case for the edge connector. That's quite simple, of course. So I'm going to move this a bit backwards. Oh, this way then. And I'm going to add a hole for the edge connector on top of the edge connector itself, which is the simplest way of doing that. We already know that it's 0.7 millimeters, 7 millimeters by 72. So that's what it by default should be. So this one, and it's way too high, so let's do it this way, by 7 high. So this is the, what is it doing? Oh, pressing the wrong button, I think. Yes, button, okay. So this is the default, come on man, the default size of the connector itself, and that's not what we need. I'm going to position it, come on. Yep, now we can heighten it, and alright. But of course we need a hole, and a hole is always bigger. And for this we can just add, that's the simplest way, 1 millimeter on the side. So I will make 74 and 9, that's what I had in mind. And then we need to step down 5 to each side. Sorry. 1 on all sides, of course. So this is the exact position of the hole. And because the hole is going to be inside of the case, we just move this a bit this way. And we now can put, of course, I'm mistaken, the edge connector is sticking out and is, let me think, it's around here. So we can put this inside the case again. It's very slow this way, so let's move it a bit faster. We can make sure that it's completely centered. And it's not yet because it's added on the wrong snap setting before. Now it should be exactly 1 millimeter on all sides. So that's what we wanted. Next is we're going to group the hole with the case, and then we have a hole for the edge connector, as you can see here. So this is exactly how it's sticking out. So now it's starting to look at as a ZX Spectrum case. Let's make this black. And let's make this green for a change or something. Ugh, it's ugly. I don't like that. Blue, I don't like blue as well. I don't like it as well. Maybe I should just have stuck with grey, but alright. So this is the first looks of the interface, and one thing I don't like is that there's a very long wall here which is only 2 millimeters wide, I think, as far as I can see. And I don't know if that's the best solution. Let me grab one of the cases of the older designs, and I think I just used most of them because I have to prepare new ones. Alright, so the problem we are having is that if I would do it this way, I'm going to have the correct case here, but it's not a big issue. If we do it this way, we have a very long space below, and I don't like that. Well, there's one way of solving this issue, and that is by making the bottom part, by adding this long small piece of plastic to the bottom part of the case. So we will do that later on. I hope you can understand what I mean. So I don't want to have this long 2 millimeter wide and thick piece of plastic there. So I will make that part of the bottom, and then it's solved. So let's not bother about it right now. We'll do that later on. Okay, what else do we have? Well, I think we have done the most important stuff here. Maybe I can add a hole for the switch here. So let's show you what I'm talking about. So we have the tactile switch, the button. We have the 3 LEDs, which we have to make light guides for. So all the LEDs will be can be seen from the outside. I've done it a lot as well, so that's easy. But I think I will finish in a moment with, because it's almost an hour now already, with creating a hole for the LED, for the tactile switch, and let's see, maybe make the bottom plate. Maybe that's a good idea. But we also have the jumper options here, which we have to make holes inside the bottom part. So I think it's good to finish with the bottom part, and I will do the holes later on when I'm continuing with the design. And there's one more thing I really want to do. Well, I'll show you in a minute. Alright, let's make the hole for the tactile switch, tactile button. Okay, I know that my tactile button has a dimension of 6 millimeter diameter. So I will make the hole 8 by 8. Maybe it's too big. Let me think, what did I do with the other designs? I don't know. Can I measure it? That's one thing I can measure because I have the ZX HD hole here. What size did I make that? This is 6. Okay, then I think the buttons itself are a bit smaller. Oh, wait, I'm mistaken. This one doesn't get a tactile cap. So this is already a bit smaller. I have to grab another case. I only have the old cases here, the old vitamin C cases, but I can measure the hole sizes here. I think it's also 6. Why is it the same? How can it be the same? Because this one, these get a tactile cap, and these are still 6 millimeters. So are the tactile caps just 4 then? Now I really have to measure it. Yes, I'm back. So here's one, and these are indeed a lot smaller. They're only 4.5, I think. Almost 5. 4.5. So a hole of 6 is good enough. So 6 by 6. And let's move the board outside again. Let's start with that, because I want to add the exact position of the tactile button, and that's a bit hard because there's actually no exact position of the switch, because I added it where there originally should be a jumper. I'm doing this way, and just have to put something underneath the other 2 legs at that side here, because it could create a short circuit we don't want. But I'm going to do it this way, which means there could be a slight movement of this button here if I don't put the next one on other boards in exactly at the same position. But I don't think it's a big issue. It's just what could it be, a quarter of a millimeter or something. It's not big, not big of difference. So what I'm going to do is just measuring the position of this tactile button here, which is now 56 millimeters from the side. So we'll add it here. This should be, let's make it 4x4 to start with. Right, and let's position it here. We have to create a ruler. Let's see, where's my work plane? Why is my work plane on top of there? Okay, it's my bad. Let's do it this way. Where's my ruler? The ruler is gone. Let's create a new one. Right. As you can see again, it's not completely aligned. It's not very useful this. Okay, now it's aligned to the top left of the board. Of course, I have to do I have to check all the dimensions later on, but not now, not at this moment. 56 I said, so the center of that should be 56. I can just move it around. I want to know the center of the button, so it will measure the outside of the pillar I just put here. Yeah. So I just have to calculate the center of it, and I see some dimensions here. We click once more on that, so we have exactly 50, which is not enough because it's to the outside, and because this is 4 millimeter, this should be 58. So let's just move it. Okay, so the center of the switch is now 56 from this ruler here, which I measured a minute ago, and the other dimension is 13. Yeah, exactly 13. And let's see, so I got 9.83. That's strange. Oh, it's because the ruler is enabled. Oh, so it's 4x4 again. Still 58, that's okay. And 13 I said, so it's 9.7. I just have to move it now. So the left of this is now 11, sorry, 10, it should be 11. Am I right? Because it said the center was 13. And this is 2, so yeah, it should be 11. Oh, 11 of course. So this is the position of the bottom. Why is it so high? Because the work plane was at the wrong position, but it's just for. Okay, this is cool. I'm not going to exactly determine the height of this, but I will make it 14 because I'll make it 16 because it's slightly higher than the Ethernet connector. So this is where the tactile button will be, and we're going to join this again to the board, and we now have an orange board. Okay, let's delete the ruler here. Okay, that's gone. So this is the exact position of the tactile button. So we're going to put the hole on top of that. It's not completely centered, I think. No, it's not. I don't want to make it too hard. I just want to do it the easy way. I think it's to zoom in a bit, yes. So all the sides are equal now. Right, this is what I wanted. Just have to lower it a bit, so this is good enough. It's not problem because it's just a hole. And we're going to move this inside the case again. Let's see if we positioned it correctly. No, it's not. And the reason I say that is that because the outside is not aligned to the grid correctly. So I'm going to align this. I think this is it. No, it's not. That's odd. So the grids weren't aligned well. Anyway, right? It should be exactly. No, this is not correct, and it should be moved 1 millimeter to the right, and then we have. Oh, here's hard to see, but I know now it's correctly lined there, and the sides I'm not sure. I have to check. Yeah, the sides are okay as well. Let's zoom out. Yep, and this one. Yep, that's perfect. So we know that where the hole for the button is going to be, so we can join those two parts, and then we'll see the hole for the button. And this is actually the button with the tactile cap on top. And there's still some space, so there's enough space for a tactile cap. That's the most important thing. So what we see here, and we can change the colors of course if we want to, but I'm not going to do that right now. We can see the Ethernet socket from the top and from the side. We can see the tactile switch, we can see the edge connector. So we have to add a couple of things, but I'm not going to do it right now. Oh, I see, I might have made it too big. No, it's not an issue. It's good. So we have done some steps. Let's just put some text on it for now because we can. I don't think I can. No, I cannot select the font I want, but. So this is not the font I will use when I'm ready, but it's cool to have something, you know. Sans or Sans Mono, I think I will use this one. The height of my text, what was it? Was it I'm not sure, 0.4 or 0.2. I think I will make it 0.5 and then add it to the top of the case, and we'll make it smaller, of course. Not sure why it's doing it. Anyway, let's move it and put it on top of the case. I have no idea where to put it, so maybe here or maybe smaller. I don't know yet. It's just maybe here, maybe there. There's not enough space to put it above the tactile switch, I think. Maybe here. I think I like this. Just next to the Ethernet socket. I think I like that. That looks cool. Okay, let's make sure it's connected, and this is too much. Oh, I want to indent the text, so this should be a hole, actually. And now I'm going to move it by steps of 1/10 of a millimeter. So now it's on top, and I think I usually use 0.2 or 0.3 millimeters. So let's use 0.3. It's indented now. I think the alignment is quite good, so for now it's good enough. I can always change it, and if I use another color, you can more easily see the result. It's not too clear, but you can see that's indented text now. Alright, so this is not the final font. I will use another font because I don't like this at all. But anyway, you can see the results so far. Sorry, thank you for reminding me. Thank you for paying attention. Okay, here's the result. I was showing the result of the font, and maybe in another color it will be more clear. I think this is just a bit more clear. Of course it won't be blue, but it's not a correct font that I want to use, but it's for now it's just to show what the result would be with the font. So we've done a lot already. What I should have done is just copy the hole on the front for the edge connector to the back. We'll do that later on for the throughput edge connector, because the Spectranet has a throughput edge connector, which is great. And what I'm also going to do is can just ungroup this for now and add an NMI text here. Oh, why doesn't that work? Okay, it works now. Let's make this a bit smaller. Oh, come on. I have to zoom in first. Right. And again, this is not the final font. I think I will put the label for the button next to it for now. Right. One thing I want to finish the stream with is place for the rainbow label, because I do that on all the products I produce, and of course I haven't designed the Spectranet, but I produce it a lot. I will produce it. I say a lot, but I mean I will produce as many as people like. So the size of the rainbow label in the past that I used was... Facebook seems to be hiding things again. Oh, strange. Well, you can always rewind the stream. Sorry, Owen, didn't know you were not. You didn't see it. So let's make the 10 and let's widen that to 40 something. And then this will be for the label, and it's quite easy to make the correct angle, so 45 degrees here. And now we have to indent it to the case. So it's now exactly on top of the case, and I want to make an indent of, that's the wrong button, I think 0.3. I'm not sure if that's too much, but I think it's fine. So we made an indent for the rainbow sticker label or something, whatever you want to call it. And what I usually do is create a space for the legenda at the side for the dip switches or something like that. But because we don't have a dip switch at the side, I don't think there's any need for that at this moment. What I can do, however, is put a sticker label with the legenda for the jumpers, which will be which you can reach from the button. That's what I think. So why not put the label on the button as well? So maybe I will do that. But for now, this is about what I have in mind for Spectranet. And maybe now is a good time to ungroup these parts. Make this another color. Blue, or I think blue is good. And this should be black. And because the case and the edge connector will be black, that's what I think. But for now, I think it's cool to this doesn't look well. So let's just make the case black and the edge connector a bit lighter. Yeah, that's what I wanted. So that's about what I want to finish for now, and I will move all to the side to make a nice picture of it. And let me know, guys, if you think a red button would be better. I'm not sure, because it's not a reset button. I usually use a red button for reset, and so I think for for NMI, blue would be the best. That's what I think. And of course, again, the font is not the finished one I will use, but for now, for the artwork, it's okay. So this is what I have in mind for now. I think I will try to make a photo from the side, something like this. Let me see. I think I like this. And I will add the rainbow logo here. So let's finish it up with some painting. A bit of painting. And now I need a rainbow logo. Where did I put my rainbow logos? Byte lights, logos, rainbow logos. It's of course it's not mine. I actually don't know if there are any legal rights on this, so I should be a bit careful. But we're going to be in contact with Comcast, by the way, if anyone is interested. But all the time. Let's see, how can I put this on there, onto there? I just think I have to rotate it a bit. Is that the easiest? Because of course the 3D design is in perspective a bit, so it will be hard to actually put the logo exactly in the space where I want it to be. Let's first make it smaller. Then I think I will just rotate it. Why is this in gradient? I have no idea. White. Alright. What's the best way of doing this? Like I think I have a way of doing it. What I can do is select exactly this part here. That's easy. It's just for artwork, guys. For artwork it's not that important to make it precise, but now I can fill it with the colors I have here. So what I need to do is oh, okay, this is not going to work. Let me think. Yeah, I think the best I can do is make this bigger. So 500, 600, something like that. Just for artwork, guys. And maybe I can stretch it. I think that would be the best. Yeah, with 50, 100, 200. Yeah, that's what I wanted. Right. We're getting there. No, it's not easy to put colors into the 3D model, so I will just put it here. I actually don't know if that's possible. I have no idea. Is it possible to put a picture here? I don't think so. This is just made for parts and not for images or something like that. So we'll just do it on the artwork now here. Let's see. So we have that. I think we can try what happens if we do this. It's way too big, so we need to be smaller. 25, let's try it with that. It's too small. 14 maybe. Oh, that's almost good. But the angle is not good, so we need to rotate it a bit. And we need to select that one. See what happens. Well, that's better. We're getting there. Look at that. Just a tiny bit smaller. 33 maybe. That's almost perfect. I think I have to stretch it just a bit more. So let's keep it 100 and this 125, but then the angle will be off again, so we have to rotate it a bit again. And don't want the top and the bottom, so I want only this part here. Right. And then we have to use the third one. This one, yes. Let's see what happens. Oh, that's the wrong button. Oh, look at that. Okay, just tiny bit smaller, and I think we're there then. Okay, I can do this by hand. And that looks quite well. That's almost what I wanted. So we'll do this by hand, just because it's a small piece. Right. Doesn't that look cool? What do you think, guys? I think it looks cool. Oh. Thank you, Stuart. I want to make the button a bit more blue. What is great? Oh, we'll just use this. Oh. Let's change the opacity. Okay, now we have more bluish button. Cool. And now you get a good impression of what the case will look like. We can do all kinds of stuff. We can, for example, add lines like the Pro 1 interface has. So the case of the interface will look a bit like ZX Spectrum Plus or ToastRack. That could be an idea. We even could add the heatsink lines at the right side if we want to, but it's not a Pro 1. It's a Spectranet interface, so maybe we should just make it create its own looks for that. So I think it's cool to start with. Let's save this Spectranet case design artwork 1. And let's push it online so people can see the results so far. Hey guys, just doing a live stream as we speak, designing the case for the Spectranet interface. This is the result so far after, what is it, just over an hour of playing around with Autodesk Tinkercad. And share. Let's put it in the group so everyone can enjoy the looks so far. And you guys who are in the stream will probably get some Facebook pings now. Someone is posting a lot. The guy is always spamming the groups. He's doing it again. Alright. So, I think it's still quite a simple box, you know. It's not the most hard piece of designing, but I think it's cool to do. I like doing this a lot. So if you have any suggestions, maybe I should put it in. If you have any suggestions, please let me know. Would you like the lines as with the Pro 1 interface, for example? And then I have to copy an image of the Pro 1 interface, but it's easy. So So let me grab that. Which one is the best? Let me just grab that one, I think. Copy. Right. People are already replying to the photo, which is great. Cool. So I wonder what people prefer. We'll see. I think the rainbow logo is doing well on the case, so that's good. So we'll wait for the feedback and continue the designing the case in a couple of days. But I think we're getting there. And if I order the case with the design so far, then it will take just over 2 weeks to arrive. So I have to wait for that, of course. But in the meantime, I can order parts for the Spectranet interfaces themselves. So let me just show you the small stack of boards here, which is so cool, I think. Look at these boards. I got plenty more, but not that many chips, so just need to order the chips. So I think I can make 10 at the moment with the parts that will arrive in a couple of days from Farnell mostly. Okay, I'm getting replies. What does Miroslav say? Lines, lines, lines. Alright, we'll see. If everyone likes the lines, then we can add them. I think it's cool. I think it's cool to have it look a bit like a ZX Spectrum Plus case or Toaster case, of course. Anyway, this was what I wanted to finish with today, because there's so many other stuff I need to do, but it's a Saturday and tomorrow it's Sunday, of course. So tomorrow I will do a bit less, but we'll see when I will continue with this. But anyway, there's way too much work. Chips? Chips? Oh, you mean yeah, chips? You're hungry. Are you hungry, Mark? I bet you I got a peck or two or something. Alright. I will continue on the design later on. What I'm going to do tomorrow, I'm not sure yet if I'm going to do anything. I have to make a machine ready for someone. I have plenty of repairs. They're stacked on the boxes over there. I have to do all of them. Maybe that's something for tomorrow. Phew, there's so much work. So much work. Anyway, I also want to get one more Spectranet out to Tom. So I wonder if I should just send him this one, which works, or keep this one for myself. This because it's the first one I made with, as you may have seen, kind of the wrong size parts. It worked without any problem, but these are not the parts I used for this one. The SMD parts were just slightly bigger than the ones that should be on the board. So I ordered the correct ones. I have them in stock now. So I think I have to just to make one more. Have a day off and play. Well, this is what I'm doing for fun, guys. But I have some. I think I have 2 kids. I'm not sure. No, I'm just joking. Stop it with chips. It will start with. Oh yeah. Thomas. Yeah. If I start with a bag of chips, then chances are that it's going to be emptied once. But anyway, we visited some market today and bought some fruits, blueberries, strawberries, pineapple. What else? Dried figs and dried apricots. So I think we have some nice healthy snacks downstairs, and some peanuts and some other stuff. But so we'll get down. Thank you very much, guys, for hanging on with me here in the chat and seeing what I'm doing. I hope you enjoyed my shirt. Maybe it's too big. Maybe a girl should wear this, I'm not sure. But not this size, of course, because I'm too big. Anyway, we'll see you in the next stream or video. We'll see. I like streaming. I like streaming because the good thing about streaming is you don't have to edit anything. The downside is that if you do anything wrong, uh, if you fart or something, then everyone can see it. So I always have to be careful. I always disconnect all my cameras when I'm not streaming, so you know. Anyway, great to see the design progressing. Thank you, Stuart. Thank you a lot. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next one, guys. Bye!